Hello my sweet friends and welcome to DIY with Nadia. Today we are making a plaid fashionista wreath using the double ribbon method that is also known as the awareness ribbon because of the way it looks. Let's get started. For this wreath, I'm going to be using two of these rolls of 21-inch deco mesh. I got these at Joann's. They are 21 by 30 feet. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut 10-inch strips, 18 of each. I'm also going to be using a 14-inch metal wreath form from the Dollar Tree. And of course, I picked a beige color to match my lighter color. So it's going to have a little bit of a flawless look. Here I'm just cutting my 21-inch deco mesh into 10-inch strips. Let's attach our pipe cleaners to our wreath form. Our wreath form is 14 inches, as I said, and this wreath form has 6 sections. In each section, we're going to put 3 pipe cleaners. So what I do is we're going to put 1 pipe cleaner on row 1 and 2. The next pipe cleaner, I'm going to put on row 3 and 4 and just twist it in the middle. And this is what it's going to look like, just one section. And I'm going to just repeat the process going all the way around. The ones that are closest to the center, I just point them in. The ones on row 3 and 4, I point them out. It's just easier when you're attaching your deco mesh to find these when you do this. Now I'm just going to continue going all the way around and attaching my pipe cleaners. Now that our wreath form is ready, I'm just going to move it a little bit to the side so we can get going with our little ribbons. I'm just going to grab one of my strips and start rolling it, kind of like when we do the curly method. And just make a little tube, hold at the ends, and bring it together in half. Then I'm going to just grab it on a halfway mark, and I'm going to clamp it. This type of method is also called awareness method because of this. It looks like an awareness ribbon. And then I'm going to grab my second one. Same thing. We're just going to make a little tube here. Make it a little curl. And I don't keep it too tight, but tight enough. Then we're going to fold it in half. After folding it in half, I'm going to pinch it in the center. Then I'm going to grab my other ribbon and I'm going to make one of them go upside down. And so one is just going to go on top of the other, just like this. So we have 2 tails right here and 2 tails right here. And I'm just going to put it straight in the center of my pipe cleaner, just like that. Since I have the ivory on top, I'm going to grab another one and then the ivory is going to go on the bottom and then the brown on top. And I'm going to just go every other. I'm going to make this way and every other. I'm going to invert it and they're going to go every other. This method does go kind of quick because you just roll and put it in place. I'm going to fold it and now my brown one's going to go on top and then this ivory is going to go in the bottom. I'm going to flatten in the center. When I'm putting my ribbon on, I also make sure that if the brown head is over here, the tails are going to be over here. And of course, if the light head is going to be over here, the tails are going to be here. So at the end, it kind of just evens out and it's going to be a beautiful flow. 2 tight twists here. I know it looks sparse right now, but don't forget, we still have 2 of them that are going to go over here and it's going to push it up. For this wreath, I like to do the inside, then the outside. You can also do outside to the inside. But what I do not do is per section because then it'll get confusing for you as far as, okay, what's on top, what's at the bottom. But this way, you're like every other, and as you go along, it'll all even out. Because we have even numbers of pipe cleaners on the inside and the outside, it's going to go nicely, and you know you're going to have every other as you finish off your circle. I know it's looking sparse so far, but I'm going to go ahead, finish off this inner circle, and I'll be right back. This is what the wreath looks so far, and I know it's not much, but when we're done, it's going to look good. So now I'm just going to put it to the side once again, and I'm going to start working on all the pipe cleaners on the outside. And it doesn't matter which one you start with, just start and go every other just like we did in the center row. When choosing deco mesh for this wreath method, I like to choose a light and a dark color, or colors that just contrast each other really, really nicely. That way it's just such a beautiful transition, and you see a pop of ivory, then a pop of brown, and it plays so nicely, and at the end you're going to have such a beautiful wreath. Now I'm going to just continue making all the little ribbons going all the way around, and I'll be right back. I'm about to make my last little combo right here. And as you can see, my supervisor's right there watching my every move. So we have one going this way, the other one's going to go that way. And let's see here. If my tails are ending right here, then my loop needs to be here, and then loop and tails. And I'm just going to kind of fit it in between and tie it in. Did I do a good job, Leo? What do you think? Just staring at me. Nice and full. I love the contrast in this wreath. So very pretty. Now it's time to start decorating. Here is the ribbon that inspired this wreath. I absolutely think it's gorgeous and beautiful. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it into 20-inch strips. The edges right here, I'm going to fold it once, really, really small, and then twice just to lock in that edging, because I feel like this is the type of ribbon that will fray. If you have a wire sticking out like this, just cut it off. It's very tiny gauge wire. This ribbon I got at Craft Outlet. It is 10 yards. 10 yards is 360 inches. If we divide that by the 18 sections that we have on our wreath, we are going to have 20-inch ribbon. Now this ribbon, I don't want to be shorter than 18 inches, so just make sure when you're folding it in the back that it's kind of, you know, you're trying to make it as small as possible just to cover that edge so it doesn't fray. I'm going to go ahead and cut all of the ribbon, and I'll be right back to put it on the wreath. I'm done with all my ribbon, and I'm going to grab my ribbon. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to make like a little awareness ribbon. Make sure your tails are facing down. And I'm kind of evening out that the top at the bottom is kind of the same. Right there in the middle, pinching it together, bringing it together. And then this loop right here, I'm going to actually face it out because you want that beautiful ribbon to show. And then the tails are just going to stick right there. So whatever the top ribbon is, right here I have the loop on this side on top. I'm going to flip this, and then I'm going to put the ribbon right here so that the tails are on top of my loop. Give it 2 twists. And of course, we're going to poof it out a little later. But at this point, I'm going to send my wire towards the back, and then I'm going to tie it in the back. When I'm done, that is when we're going to play with all the tails and stuff. But right now, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and just do the ribbon going all the way around on every single one of the 18 sections. There you go. Just eyeing it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Flipping it around so the smooth end is right here. Just like that. Then making my little poof stand out right here. Since my top loop is right here, I'm going to face it the other way. And same thing, connect it with the pipe cleaners. After 2 twists, I'm sending the pipe cleaners back. And I'm going to do that going all the way around. This wreath is going to be so adorable with this beautiful plaid ribbon. For the center detail, you can either leave it like this, and that is what I'm going to do with this one because the little bubble right here covers that little area. But if you don't want, with this one, you can definitely do something like this little cotton pick and just grab one little cotton bud and put the cotton bud in the center. That would look very pretty. You can also use one of these roses from the Dollar Tree or this little flower from the Dollar Tree because the colors just blend in really nicely, and that would look nice also. Since these options are more farmhouse, I decided to leave these off, and I'm going to go a little bit glam for your fashionista that you're making this wreath for. I found this little sign. Look at this. It has Vogue style, little high heels. Of course, this is from the Dollar Tree, you guys. Absolutely, little picture frame from the Dollar Tree. And the first thing I'm going to do, of course, is attach some pipe cleaners in the back so we can attach it to the center of our wreath. If you want, you can use staples to connect the little pipe cleaners, but I ran out of staples. So I am going to use a little bit of hot glue. I'm going to seal it with a little ribbon, so I'm just going to cut 2 little pieces of ribbon. More hot glue on top. And then I'm just going to put my ribbon right over that, and that's just going to seal it in place. And then I'm not gonna worry when I'm going to hang it. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Now I'm just going to center it and attach both of these in the back on the first row, just like that. And then just work with the ribbon, make sure you have everything sticking out that you want. I want all my pretty plaid ribbon to show here. And just kind of send the picture back a little bit so you have the beauty of the wreath in the front. And that's it. This wreath is ready for the fashionista in your life. What do you think? I think it turned out absolutely adorable.